The sound's not on yet, but it is right now. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between, welcome, of course, to the SYN Shop podcast. I am, of course, the Mighty Pong.
This is Zenifi.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Returning champion Zenifi joins us yet again because Crux, he went off in the woods somewhere. But here we are. And tonight on tonight's show, we are going to talk about getting the F out of Dodge, which is easy because there's no F in Dodge. But hashtag dad jokes. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about getting out of the city in various ways. Are we going to go live on a farm? Are we going to live in a car? Are we going to live in a van down by the river? I don't know. We're going to talk about it. But before we get into that, quick announcement on the shop. Now, we are, of course, located at 1075 American Pacific Drive, Suite C in fabulous Henderson, Nevada. Now, if you'd like to come check out the shop, you can do that. But we do want to ask that you coordinate with us in advance to schedule a tour. While you're working at the SYN Shop or just in general existing around other humans, do make sure that you wear your mask and clean all tools, surfaces, and materials. And then I lost my place. Oh, before and after you use them. Stay home as much as you can. Don't touch your face. And for the love of God, wash your damn hands. But if you have any questions about membership, or if you would like to arrange for a tour, you can email us at info@synshop.org. And to make sure that you're notified of our future events, including virtual ones just like this one, you can join us at meetup.com/SynShop. Also, we are currently in the middle of moving to a new space. So if you would like to donate to the shop, you can go to synshop.org/donate. One more thing. If you would like to donate to the shop, and also you're like, man, Pong and Zen, they have some snazzy shirts right there. I'd like one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All you got to do is type !merch in the chat, and you will be whisked away to Stream Elements, where you can purchase a shirt just like this, and all proceeds, of course, do go to benefit the shop. That's a lot of words.
That's a lot of words, my dude.
That was a lot of words. Oh my God. Okay, so let's get into it.
I'd probably run out of breath. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what would help if one were to run out of breath? Being in a place with lots of oxygen.
You know what? That's a good point.
Away from the city.
Yeah.
So
here's the thing. Not just that though.
Okay.
Because I sleep way better in certain environments.
Okay.
So like Vegas, I sleep like crap. I wear a CPAP just because it has a humidifier in it. I get like more of an enclosed forced air, just to breathe and sleep soundly. Sure. But when I go to places it just makes me want to puke in my mouth. When I go to places like Tampa, Florida.
Oh yeah, Florida will do that.
Yeah, I sleep way better though there because it's so gosh dang humid that my mouth and throat don't dry out because I just leave it open like a wildebeest or something. And so when you say better oxygen, I mean Tampa's still a city, but if I could go to have wide open range of land with trees and grass around, I would like that because sleep way better.
Huh. Okay. Well,
yeah, just little sleep part because you said clean oxygen away from the city.
Huh. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I'm the opposite. Like I sleep like a log here. Well, it depends. It depends on where I'm at. If I'm away from a major metropolitan area, I can't sleep. Like me and my wife, we got like a cabin at one point. Like we were doing this getaway thing, and we got this cabin off in the middle of nowhere, and we stayed there, and I couldn't sleep to save my damn life because I'm used to. I grew since the time I was 17. Before that, I was living in major metropolitan areas, so I'm used to traffic going by and horns and honking and the occasional gunshot. But if I don't have that, then I have trouble sleeping. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, I just have to say this part really quick.
Sure, go ahead.
It's weird. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I was standing outside my office door, and I just my physical office for work.
Right.
It's in a business park. there's suites and all that. My office has its own exit. Like I'm the only office out of our entire like area that has its own entrance and exit. I never use it.
Yeah.
I just use the main door because it's just always locked. But to explain this properly, it's because so I have the window, wall, door, and right next door, there's an entrance for the suite next door, but they don't use their door either. So there's never anybody coming in and out where we are. I was standing there the other day, and this is related to your gunshot. I didn't hear a gunshot, but I was looking up, and in their suite, there's what looks like a bullet hole in the glass. And I kind of want to look into it further because I've never noticed it before.
Huh.
And now I'm kind of concerned.
Wow. Okay. So you're concerned that there was like that something happened there, or that
like there was a shooting nearby, or somebody, you know, in a neighborhood nearby during 4th of July or something like that shot their firearm off, and it just came into that suite. Like I'm wondering if they even know about it, because it's like kind of higher up. Yeah. And because I was just standing there like getting some fresh air. But yeah, I mean, it was just like when you said gunshot, for some reason, that's what that's what pulled up in my head. And I had to say it.
McNutt in the chat says BB gun. Our window has been shot out before. Was it bigger than a BB gun hole? Was it
really? I mean, it could be. I really should take a picture of it because it's concerning. But that unit next to us is also a church.
Oh.
So it's really weird. But yeah, I was just standing outside my office door and getting some fresh air, and I looked up, and they have like a security camera too. So I'm always wondering if they're like staring at me, but there's nobody ever there during the day. I don't know. It was just weird. And so you said sometimes gunshots and common sounds. I hope that doesn't become a common sound where I work. That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, that's what you get when you live in St. Louis. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That for you, I mean, it's common like the birds chirping.
Yeah. Honestly,
nowadays, maybe when you were living there, it probably wasn't that bad when you were living there. Right now, isn't it the murder capital of the nation?
It's either one or two murder capital of the world.
I think
U.S.
Murder capital of the U.S. Yeah, US. Not the world.
Let's calm down. It's not the world. Okay. No, you're right. In the post game, we'll talk about where I was, which was basically the DMZ of the ghetto. And we'll go over that. Yeah, it was the demilitarized zone of, like, in other words, 4 years or 10 years prior. No, but when I was there, it was all right, and now it's actually I think a lot better. I'll talk. We'll talk about that in the post game. Let's see. McNutt says they were large, didn't make it through the second pane.
So you've seen this then. I mean, I work with McNutt, so that's why he has verified. Yeah. I mean, our offices are right next to each other, but he doesn't have an exit out.
So maybe like a 22 from really far away?
It could have been that, or maybe like one of those rifle pellets with the tip still. But I think that would have gone through. Even if it was like air pumped, I still think that would have gone through both panes, but I don't know.
I don't know. I got nothing. I barely. I barely.
I don't have any photo evidence or just photo reference at the moment.
Oh well. All right. So getting out of town. We talked. It won't stop a plane.
What? I mean,
jet
there are
fuel
planes overhead.
Doesn't melt glass panes. I don't know. So yes. So, this came from our Discord. By the way, if you'd like to join our Discord for the SYN Shop, you can go to synshop.org/Discord. But on that Discord, earlier this week, you and someone else were talking about
rocket fuel.
Rocket fuel. We're talking about rocket fuel?
So CH4LOX is his name.
Right.
That's the acronym for rocket fuel.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, yeah. I was wondering what that was.
So, that's how, if we were down at the SYN Shop and we were all using our handle names as we do usually, people would reference to me, say Zenifi, they go McNutt, they would say, hey, what's up, Pong? For CH4LOX, you would say, hey, rocket fuel.
I'm glad you told me that, because I was wondering what the hell a Chalix was.
Yeah.
That's how I was reading it. I was like, what the hell's a Chalix? I am an old. It's true.
But, you are. But yeah, so we were talking. I mean, you could continue the introduction unless you wanted me to go.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. So, okay. So, Rocket Fuel, he's traveling around right now because he's looking for a place to plant roots, with a significant portion of land to just build on top of and kind of hobby farm and just grow his family. And so that's kind of what's like we started talking about. I don't know why we started talking about this.
It had to do with Starlink. Because
Starlink, it had to do with Starlink satellites. Yeah, Starlink satellites for internet.
Right.
And yeah, so like rural places, because we were talking about the price. So like price of the hardware came out $199 for the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
It is $5 a month for the service fee, which comes with 1 gig of data. I think no, that's a different plan.
1 gig of data?
No, it's not 1 gig of data.
Oh.
It's $99 a month for their service. I'm thinking of something completely different that I was researching this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Starlink, $199 for the, or it might even be, it's $499 for the, I'm thinking of two different products. I really messed myself.
$499 for the equipment, $99 a month for the service.
Yeah. So we were talking about that and getting into rural places, and we were kind of speaking to like either the nomad living, the vanning around life, which he's RVing around right now. So he's kind of living that life. Probably should have asked him if he wanted to be a guest somehow. Could have been a good idea, but anyway, well, maybe one day, and you could hear his plans or like his, maybe we'll ask him one day if he could just come on and talk about his experience, even if he gets settled down before then or something like that.
Sure.
Cause he's been doing this journey for, I think a year and a half or something like that.
That sounds right.
Like RV life in it. But my point to the whole thing is I want to do rural living. Like I want like 5 to 10 acres somewhere, in a couple corners. I want like full-fledged like resident houses. So like if like a friend comes to town, or if like a friend, like if anybody lives there part-time for a season, like or something like that, they have their own house. Me and my fiance have our own house.
Mm-hmm.
There's animals everywhere. I don't know. It's like a fantasy thought, like of what I would do if I built out my own property.
Yeah.
And I always make the joke that, like if I'm just at work and people are like, "Hey, how's it going, Zen?" Or like, "How's networking?" Because I do networking.
Mm-hmm.
All I keep saying to them is like, I'm living the life until I could go farm. And
really?
I always tell people like, I just can't wait until I never have to deal with like business tech. Like I like dealing with my own tech because I like doing fancy things with it. And I'm also good at it, so it is my career. But once I can be done, I'm done. And I'm just gonna be. I want to build like a cool, like just like a nice, heavily networked, heavily like resourced farm. So like in a way could be self-sufficient as much as possible, but also I just think it's fun. Like I like playing farming simulators, like just like building up my own little sections of areas. I like maintain like I play the games to literally get to the end game of waking up, going to water or like pick a certain resource and organizing that. Like doing that's what I do in my spare time, and I love it. And that's where I kind of want to go when I either retire or if I could get like a really good like networking remote gig. I would love to move out to a portion of large land that's mine, and I really want to fancify it up in tech.
So yeah, I had considered that briefly, and the internet thing honestly was the biggest thing stopping me. But the second biggest thing stopping me was work. It's a lot of work. Like,
yeah, like, I mean, I totally get it. And I also mentioned in our Discord during these conversations, that I subscribe to a lot of like farming YouTube channels. Like where like that's what they do. It's either urban farmers or like full-fledged like corn or wheat or oat farmers, something like that.
Yeah.
I watch tons. Like I'm subscribed to tons, and I just like love watching like the way they live.
Yeah.
And you can't really attain that though unless, I mean, you can't, yeah, unless that's your job. Like the level at what I'm watching, not happening. But I just kind of want like a hobby farm. Like I still want like my primary job, or like if I can, you know, I'll still like do remote work for like sysadmining and stuff like that. But I would obviously much prefer if I could just full-fledged dedicate myself to this land and farm and build my own things and do whatever. But money is a thing. So I would like the internet there so I could still have an income. But yeah, I would primarily want a hobby farm. I don't want a business farm.
So what does a hobby farm look like? Is like just enough food for you, or how does that?
Just like, yeah, just like store, like food storage, like be able, like, you know, maybe like neighbors or just like gift baskets or something like that would be like the most if I had surplus. But yeah, just like self-sufficient for the family and stuff like that.
Somebody told me once that, what was it? I can't remember what it is. Oh, I think, an apple tree. I think it was an apple tree. Like they said that apple trees are the most expensive way possible to get free apples. And I was like,
really?
Oh, okay. Yeah, apparently it was either that or tomatoes or something like that. There's a lot of upkeep, or at least.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely, I would definitely have to like spreadsheet out. Like if I was saying, like, let's say I have like carne asada tacos, maybe every 2 weeks, maybe every 3 weeks, like we'll grill up like some meat. So my example here is like with onions and cilantro. Like, is it better for me just to buy, like, am I gonna produce like a well balanced like amount for me to eat, or am I literally just gonna be farming and throwing away like everything? Because I'm always thinking about this from the perspective of like, I could probably do it if I like got into like better shape. I was more healthier and more like well versed and minded. I'm confident I could do that type of work, but also in these games like Stardew Valley, where I'm playing like a farming simulator, all the excess that I have, I'm dumping into a crate and the mayor just grabs it overnight. That ain't gonna happen where I live. Like, what am I gonna do with all the, like, I don't want to be wasteful. Like that's just stupid. That's a waste of water and resources. But like, I also want to like do a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Oh, totally. So like the big game that I'm playing right now, I went back to SnowRunner, right? I love off-roading, but in SnowRunner, if I want to hook a winch, it's a off-road, off-road in the Arctic, in Arctic Russia.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Whenever I need to hook up a winch, I hit F, and it throws a winch to the nearest tree, right? I don't have to get out in 4 foot tall snowdrifts, walk over and hook up a damn winch around the tree, and then pull myself out of the hole, walk back to the tree, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I can just release it by pressing R. I think it is R, F. I don't know, whatever. I think it's R. Anyway, so like,
not in real life. So
not in really. That's my point. Yeah, not in real life. I don't have the Spider-Man grappling hook, but so like, I think that is a big difference. And so like, yeah, I don't know. I can't. But there's got to be something to it. There's got to be something to the why. Because I looked before we started to do the show today. I started like doing a little bit of research. I know, weird. No,
that's ridiculous.
I know, right?
Who researches anything? You just read and believe on the internet. That's it.
Well, but apparently the overall desire to just like leave everything and travel the country, apparently that's on the rise, because I looked at Google Trends for like van life and nomad life, and those over the past 12 months have been steadily going up, right?
Interesting.
And if you take a look at YouTube, there's like a bazillion of those links all over.
So many channels dedicated to retrofitting vans and the nomadic lifestyle of just like, I don't know, earning money here, having an Airbnb there, just going about your
going about your daily life, right?
just going about your just like the universe. I don't know.
Well, so like, also like, talking about the YouTube thing, there's a lot of people that do it as their job. Like they'll get into the van thing and all that, the van life, and become like an Instagram or YouTube person, doing it.
Influencer modeler. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's one video that I found that was really neat. It's called what is it? The Reality of Van Life on Social Media. And if you're watching,
you posted that in Discord, didn't you?
not on no, I don't think so. Not on Discord. But I just threw it up in the chat just now. Okay. Yeah, that was a really interesting video. I came across that too while I was looking at this, and it's this girl talking for quite a while, I think, about how, a lot of times you can get trapped into the whole, like, the content that I produce is about being on the road in a van, but I don't want to be in a van anymore. But if I stop being in a van, then I don't have any content for my show and I'm screwed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like this weird double-edged sword with it. But now at the same time, and I'm skipping all over the place here. At the same time, though, we had Sean on, Sean Stoops, and he did that conversion with the what was it, Ford Transit, I think, and
I can't remember.
Yeah, and that was, I'm pretty sure it was a Transit. That was his third car, so he's not only he's done this two other times, and has been working on a third this entire, most of this year. So I guess really it works for some people. It totally wouldn't for me. But what is it about leaving the city that, so you say, so I guess for you, I guess my question is, for you, is it a self-sufficiency thing? Are you like I want to be responsible for myself? Or is it just like,
no,
yeah,
definitely not. No, I would still want to be within like 30 to 45 minutes of like common resources, like a Home Depot and a Target and stuff like that. What does it for me is I want a lot of land that I could construct and build my own things. Like I want a building, oversized shed that I convert into like a theater. So like I just, walk across my patio or something like that. And I walk into a theater, and it's just like that's all that is. It's not connected to anything else. It might have like a bathroom in it, but like, that's it. And I would need to network that. So what gets me and why I wanted this land is because I want to do what I do, not best, because I'm not really good at it. That's a lie. I mean, I kind of am, but I want to be able to network, just network up everything. I want to be able to, it's just fun. Like I like setting up networks, and I just think it'll be really fun setting up my ideal network on a large field. So if I am doing some sort of like tractor work or working out in the field, it's 5 to 10 acres of land. That's a lot of land.
Sure.
I want to be able to be on, the quad or something, checking the boundaries, listening to podcasts. Like I want to be able to have like I don't want to be able to download stuff. Like I want to still be able to have accessibility and all that. And obviously you need good internet out there. So I would need good internet, and, that's probably where like Starlink or something would come in.
Yeah.
But I want to have like a really nice, like core home farm network. And that's just something that fascinates me. And, I think about it a lot. Ever since, like probably like my second year into like my career, I'm like, when I retire or something like that is what I want to do. And it's just like, it's just something I think now I would want to do. I obviously don't know how much work would go into it. But I find that fascinating.
Yeah, I kind of went on a trip like that with Earthships. That's something we talked about in the episode that had the guy that 3D printed buildings. I think that was like 3 weeks
Oh
ago,
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Oh, no.
Earthships are a pretty clever concept. It's basically like uh, their design used rammed earth tires, like tires where they ram dirt in it and stack them up like bricks. I think
Uh-huh.
actually I have a link for it if you want to check them out. Let's see.
Yeah, I pulled that up.
Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, but basically the idea is that the tires work as what's called a thermal flywheel, right? They get warm during the day and then they release that warmth during the night. So you stay at like, I think it's like 60 to 70 degrees year round or something like that. And it doesn't matter what climate you're in. There's a whole bunch of them in Taos, New Mexico, and they're fine. But they have one of the big features of it is along the front of the house, they have a greenhouse. So you can basically grow your own food in there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at like a blueprint, like construction drawing right now.
Yeah.
I
So
see. And yeah, so interesting that, yeah, how the tires are all around.
mm-hmm. Yeah. In hindsight, I should have, I was planning on that being like like other thing in case we ran out of time or ran out of stuff to talk about over the hour, but I just kind of ran straight into it. But so yeah, I had gone on a thing with those, looking at Earthships, for a while. This was probably like 10 years ago, but it was internet at the end of the day that stopped me. Number one. Number two was access. Like anywhere I could live that would allow me to build such a thing, I was going to be like miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles away from anything. Like, 2 hours from the nearest Walmart. I don't think that's possible.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's not even possible. Maybe. I don't know. But, one thing we are close to, though, is the top of the hour, which means I need to take a quick moment and remind you that we're talking right now about with Zenifi about leaving leaving urban areas in favor of the sticks, and why would you want to do that, and various things like that, and also a little bit of van life, and also if you have any recommendations for drum sets.
Fuck off.
I'm kidding. No, but of course, we are doing this for the SYN Shop. That's synshop.org for more information about the shop. I don't know why I said org, whatever. But at any rate, synshop.org for information about the shop. If you'd like more information on upcoming events, including virtual ones just like this one, you can go to meetup.com/SYN Shop. Yeah. So I guess really my big thing though is I still don't quite get what it is about that draws people to it, because I myself I couldn't do it.
Well, here's the thing though. Well, okay, so all right, so I was gonna kind of lean towards something else. Like,
Okay.
why would people want to do that? I mean, I don't know if it's like a pre-bias because you're talking to me and I want to do that, but what about people that are currently in that position? What do they feel like? Do they want to live in the city, or are they content and good living in the conditions that were? But the way you were going with it was your own personal opinion of you can't do that, or you don't want to do that. Why would you not want to?
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So I think what it is I am a creature of comfort. If I can't order something through Amazon Prime, or I can't have chicken strips brought to me at a moment's notice, I'm going to know that is available somewhere else. And if I was over there, I would, I want to be where they can bring you chicken strips on demand, where there's an IKEA, and if I want to go to one, and where I can vote early, for the love of God.
True.
Missouri is garbage on that.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it would take some quality of life adjustments to not be able to order on demand something from our supreme overlord, Mr. Bezos. Not sponsored yet. Hopefully, Mr. Bezos gave us money. But I don't order that much through like food deliveries or like the nows of the deliveries, like immediate, like within 2 hours out, something like that. I very, very rarely, I mean, maybe Domino's every now and then, like that's the, and you know, they're a pizza company. They've been doing that for decades, centuries. You know, I mean, there was probably pizza delivery of some sort back in the day.
In the 1800s, the horseback pizza delivery.
We deliver, sends a pigeon.
We deliver in 30 days or it's on the house.
Yeah. That's actually like, God damn it. I'm probably gonna want to research now, like local like towns back in the like 1800s and like places that made a type of pizza or something like that. I don't know when pizza was invented, honestly, but I imagine that they were eating some sort of thinned out bread with sauce and cheese on it. Was that ever delivered? Was like the local tavern, like, did they have delivery people and like you could say, hey, I want this brought to my house, you know, when the sun is there.
So what's funny is that I was being facetious a second ago, but come to think of it, you know what you would have gotten delivered almost, you know, what you would have had to have gotten delivered on a regular basis? Ice.
Yeah.
There used to be an ice man. That's why refrigerators are sometimes called the ice box, because a guy would come. I don't remember if it was once or how often it was, but he'd come with a giant freaking block of ice. Probably
honestly, like every 2 weeks, like they would have somebody coming through, or more, 2-3 weeks.
Oh, it'd have to be more often than that. A block of ice. How long? I don't know how long those took to melt, but.
Well, it depends on how they insulated it. I mean, you could insulate and keep ice for a little while. Yeah, you're just not gonna leave it out.
Depends on how many times you open the damn refrigerator.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Just the fucking, sorry, cursing, the dirt in the ground, the giant hole with ice in it, and then you put your food in there and bury it.
Oh, well.
I think that's how they got close to doing it, until they had like actual boxes.
Yeah.
But that's often a whole other tangent. But
no, that's
I mean, it's something you would have to have gotten delivered, and obviously there wasn't the population sizes that there were. So there definitely are networks of companies that will deliver that. Granted, now it's probably really expensive.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, I mean, because you're still on the point of, it would take too long to get things from when, if you were to order something like that, like that's your major setback, is not having like immediate-ish resources.
It's amenities in general, like
okay,
being able to order things, being able to getting alcohol delivered. I mean, come on.
That's true.
Come on. That's the best.
I mean,
there's
just
that.
being able to go to the corner store,
right? Well, this is Vegas. There are no corner stores. In St. Louis, there was a corner store.
True.
You know?
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
God, I love that. Whenever I visit my dad or something like that, he's like, all right, let's go out to eat. It's like, we'll just go to like Giottone's right next door.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I walk over to his car, and then he's like, no, we're walking there. It's
right over
literally on the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I do.
I wish we had that. Yeah.
Yeah. Vegas is not set up for that. Oh, for anybody watching, wondering what the hell we're talking about. We both lived in St. Louis for a part of our lives, and we both moved to Las Vegas.
I've visited a lot. I've never been a citizen, I guess,
really?
of St. Louis, but I've been there a lot. My dad is the official living person there, so
the official living person
there. Yeah, the official living person there.
Okay.
Well, and my sister now too.
Oh.
But I never resided in a permanent status there.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, but you visited there quite a bit, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I got
spent time.
I miss parts of it. There's a lot that I really do not miss. So that's the big thing for me. And I'll definitely talk about that in the post game. That's gonna be fun. I'll tell you about the local business leaders took over took over the corner bus stop in front of the old folks' home, and how they would have, let's just say, business negotiations at all hours of the evening. It's the world's oldest profession, and I don't mean carpentry.
Yeah.
Yes. So Titans in the chat says, "Oh, nice! I'm from Springfield, Missouri." Yeah, we go. Yeah, Missouri is in the house tonight. Excellent.
I've driven through there several times because I've been all over. I've probably been over more of Missouri State than I have Nevada State, and I've permanently resided in Nevada my entire life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so it's just I've been, from St. Louis to Kansas City to Columbia to Branson to Springfield to just everywhere.
Oh, that's crazy. You know who else is from Springfield? There's no way you'll guess. Brad Pitt.
Is Brad Pitt really from Springfield?
Springfield, Missouri.
Huh.
Yeah. I know, right?
I would not have. I mean,
but
it is crazy from time to time. You'll come across the actors or actresses, actress eyes,
actri,
that are from born and raised in odd rural places. Oh, John Goodman as well.
Well, John Goodman, he's from St. Louis. He's from St. Louis, and so is John Hamm. So is Ken Bone, for that matter.
Interesting.
But no one cares. No one cares about Ken Bone. Who's the other guy? Isn't that Ratzenberger guy? Isn't he from St. Louis?
I'm lost at the moment now.
He played Cliff on Bass Pro Cashew Chicken. Nice. He played Cliff Clavin or whatever on Cheers. He was the mailman on Cheers.
Oof, I do not remember entirely. I mean, my dad. Another story about Cheers. My dad and grandpa were. I think they said that they were either in an episode or they were in the bar right after an episode got done filming. They were in a booth at the actual Cheers bar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, back in the day. It's interesting. Just fact. I don't know.
Oh no, he was born in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Disregard.
Wow.
I was wrong. These things happen. So, okay, so yeah, it's weird to me. Like, I several people, like even some people that I've been close to have wanted to do like the van life thing. Just, and I guess really I kind of pivoted in my mind to the whole like. Just the underlying thing being getting out of the city in general. It seems
just getting away from almost the assuredness of utilities.
There you go. Yeah.
Like you don't know if one of the nights you're going to be, screwed on like power or like fresh water or something like that.
Well, these are great reasons to not do it.
Yeah.
But like, I've had close relatives who are probably watching the show right now on YouTube. They're probably watching it tomorrow. But I've had close relatives even say that they wanted to like live on the road, like in a mobile home or in a trailer or something like that, and just travel. And I cannot, like, I could see doing it for a month, but forever? For years? Yeah.
For the remainder of your time.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
I've never had anybody in my life personally, aside from, if I would mention Rocket Fuel, because I've known him I haven't like personally known him, but shop affiliated, we've known each other for a better half of like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Good acquaintances.
Good acquaintances. Like he's been on, the road and doing it for like a year. Man, I really do want to talk to him in depth one of these times.
Yeah.
But I just like, I've never known anybody that's actually taken that leap. The other closest person was when I was home shopping for this home that I'm in currently, like 2 or 3 houses before this one that I was visiting. the owner of this house was selling it because he was going RV life. Him and his wife were just transitioning to RV life, and so they were selling their home.
Wow.
And that was the backstory of that home. And so that, I mean, that's the only other closest reference that I have. But you've had actual relatives who have they actually full committed?
They didn't do it. They didn't do it yet.
Okay.
But they're thinking about it. They're like, maybe.
How long have they been thinking about it?
Oh, probably like a year or so.
Oh, okay. So it's still like recent thought. It's not like, oh, I'm thinking about it 9 years later, 11 years later, 15 years.
It very well could be something. Could be a situation like that. I don't know, but yeah. And it's just like, I guess I get the idea of like I want to travel and see the world and stuff, and not have to worry about coming back to a place. I guess I could see that. But I just can't see not having roots somewhere. But then that's more likely than not. That's just me being me. Like I have to have a home base. I have to have a place to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, yeah, no, I mean, I understand. Yeah. Like I couldn't do that. Like in my ideal world and scenario on my living conditions, the current property that I am at now will always be here. It'll always be owned by me. And I hope to be in a position where it never has to be rented out, like, or anything like that ever. Like, I'm only 20 years old. Like I always want this house to be here because I know it is a safe zone. And if I ever come back to Vegas, if I leave Vegas, whatever the scenario is, I don't want to lose this house. And I most certainly would want a house wherever else I am. I personally would never want to just live on the road, whether that be with like a freaking tank of an RV, like massive amounts of space considering. Hello, Jim.
Hey, Jim, how you doing? Good to see you again. He's been a regular for a while on this and on my and on my other stream as well.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So I mean, just going back, I don't think I could do that type of living indefinitely.
Yeah,
I would always need solidified roots or several roots somewhere. But I would need a root. I would need to be able to go to I keep saying roots, but I need to go to a rooted place.
Yeah.
Know that that's mine. Like, I don't want to do like hotel living. Like, I don't want to go back and forth, be in a hotel
life.
here, if I'm visiting there, if I'm going to like my main property somewhere. Like, ideal world, where I am now for literally probably convenience sake. I would like it to remain under my possession forever.
Right.
And then I have locations somewhere else. And that would be my traveling. Like I would travel back here.
Yeah.
I would have probably permanent residency elsewhere. But as like I'm okay with driving, but I would not be able to just drive, plant roots for 2 weeks, get back up, go somewhere. Like I couldn't do that like type of van life living now.
There is one exception that I'll get to here in just a second, but I wanted to address what Titan said. He said in the chat, for a long time I was into minimalism. Everything I owned would fit in my station wagon. There's a lot of freedom in it. Man, respect. Like, no,
it's totally like, look, I respect that so much to a degree that I have just like fever thoughts of me on Amazon for 2 hours looking at organizational stuff that I could purchase because I have so much beeps.
Let's see. City, country, pros and cons. So, Jim, the topic for today is basically the desire that a lot of people seem to have is getting out of the city. Well, and here it is. Well, here we go. Jim right here says he's getting tired of big city living. So what is it about for both of you guys? I guess really, what is it about? I guess minimalism for Titans and for Jim, the big city living. What is it about that you're like, no, I'm done with this. This is I'm over this. Let me out of here. But,
I mean, if I interject while they answer, I was phrasing like my main points earlier as like the reasons for wanting to do it once I get to that location, I guess. But the reason why I want to leave a major city, dude, it seriously comes down to like traffic and travel distance. Like I hate it so much. I hate, like, if I could just live somewhere where I don't have to do that, yeah, that would be preferred. No traffic, no cars. You know, like you would use your car to drive like into town or into main places, but you know, it doesn't take me 25 to 30 minutes in the morning and afternoon to get home when I, you know, live 15 miles away.
Yeah.
It should take sub 20 minutes at least. On top of the stress of just driving in general with people, you know, thinking they own the roads. You know, just like traffic, cars, civilians in concentrated areas.
Yeah.
I prefer no.
Man, that's fine. So is it, well, I guess I'll come back to that here in a second. I want to get to what Titan said here. I think the hardest part, he says, would be losing, this is from Titans, the hardest part would be losing the people in your life. You lose the close friends you see on a regular basis. I mean, but honestly, for me, other than this show, I'm already there. Yeah, no, like seriously, like aside from, I mean, this is just our personal like lives and opinions. Like you have a tight knit friend group. I have a very tight knit friend group. Which like literally shop proxy acquaintances in this podcast. And then my two other closest friends. That's it. And honestly, in my scenario, I'm building land out for my other friends as well. Like they're in the blueprints and plans. Like if they decide to come live on the property, like, yo, it's there. Oh, wow. If they want to be traveling, doing something else. But like our plans in mind include our closest friend group for whenever, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I wouldn't charge rent. I wouldn't charge, like, it's just a part of the property. And I would probably feel more comfortable if I knew others were on my property, but they're not like classified as like the neighbor I don't talk to. Right. Yeah. And like an example. Jim says in the chat here, he says, I prefer more peaceful environment, cleaner air. I can see the stars in the sky at night, etc. Now I get that. Like that's not my thing, but I get that. Like, I mean, you and I started on the clean air portion in the beginning. I gave all my reasonings, but also his other reasoning, which is stars in the sky. I mean, I could go on a whole long spiel about the eventual, 35,000 plus light satellites from Starlink in the night sky, and they may obstruct, but they have plans because there's only like 700 or so in orbit right now or something like that. Those ones do not have the technology of kind of not being so noticed, but they are altering the designs so that it doesn't flood the night sky and basically just create a constellation that we can't see past, because that would suck. So I hope it doesn't do that, because that'd be the catch-22 is I need internet out there, but I also want to see the stars, but I won't be able to see the star. I wonder if the DDoS, the denial of service, I wonder if that the DDoS of the future is going to involve someone launching a big ball that happens to travel in the opposite direction of all the Starlink satellites. That wouldn't happen, because that would be a lot to do, because you basically have to counter the orbit of the Earth, and they go a certain direction because that's the orbit of the Earth, and it doesn't take excess energy. And I know that you're just kidding, but like, if somebody plans to do that, read a physics book first. You're going to be spending a lot of energy and be really noticeable going the opposite direction. It'd be cheaper to go to the sun. I mean, as long as you do it at night. Yeah. But so, I don't know. So I don't know if we want to do this now or in the post game. I've come around on keyboards. It's completely unrelated. I popped in late. Who's your co-host? Well, this is returning champion Zenifi. How do you not recognize Zenifi, Jim? Come on. I mean, usually Usually he's at the bottom or no, he's in the exact same place on this screen right here. But
Crux is usually in this spot. I'm in the other one.
No, I'm usually on the bottom, and Crux is usually up there, I think.
Are you sure?
Kind of.
We'll have to check the tapes. But I remember.
I've seen this show a couple times.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've been on so many episodes, I don't really properly introduce myself. But if there's anybody else here, yeah, I'm just Zenifi or Zenifi_exe on Twitter.
There you go.
I'm one of the officers of the SYN Shop, the secretary, director, officer of the SYN Shop, and yeah, that's about it. I just deal in automation, and I wear merch, and I show up when I need to show up, and I'm not here when I don't need to be here. I don't know.
and we love you for it. We thank you for wearing merch and showing up when you're supposed to. That is fantastic.
I mean, there was like pretty good consistency every other week for a bit there. I mean, I've probably been on, well, I've definitely been on the most shows.
Yes, easily. Yeah. I think Forge is probably close second. We gotta get Forge back again soon. Hey, we gotta do that. But yeah, but I have been swayed. Yeah. Oh no, I'm just talking trash there. Ever done any long-term travel, backpacked at all? So you go first.
I have not. I've spent long durations of time in other places, but never like backpacking, never out like that. I've always had 100% degree of certainty that there's going to be a roof over my head. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So I used to work on the road. I used to work for a company that contracted out to Walmart, and they would hand me it was every bit as bad as you think. They would hand me a van filled with networking equipment and a binder full of stores to go to, and they'd smack me on the butt and say, "Go get them, Tiger." And and so I'd have to drive. They didn't do that, but it was Lowell, Arkansas. That was,
I mean, yeah, maybe someday we could talk about your experiences and stuff with that. I mean, I've only ever set up 2 or 3 Walmart grade like warehouses, like networks, like retail centers. Like I've only set up like 2 or 3, and that's because like I either worked for an MSP and we were just they were moving buildings or something like that, upgrading, and they just happened to go into retail centers.
Well,
but I've never, I don't think I did it to the degree that you did, and I didn't have to travel around.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, maybe I'll do some. Maybe I'll talk about that and violate a couple NDAs on the in the post game. I'm not under any NDAs. That's ridiculous. So yeah, in the post game, I'll talk more about that because we're just about at the bottom of the hour.
Honestly, if an NDA came up, I would probably just like screenshot it and put it in the description's bio. Like, look, freaking Walmart, freaking Colleen's Classic Consignments. Like these big names are noticing. They noticed the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have gotten a copyright strike on YouTube.
But that's like automated, right? I was on that episode.
But I beat it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
which is awesome.
Let's see if you could defeat the Walton
Empire. Let's see. Jim says, I've only been on camping trips with my family when I was younger, never on my own or when I was in my 20s, 30s, etc. Yeah, so that's right. To Titan's point, I have done I've traveled on the road for extended periods of time, but it was always for work. And I do kind of wonder in the back of my head if that's part of the reason why I just have no desire to travel now. Like, because I lived in hotels for the better part of most of a couple of years there.
Okay, so you're that you're basically describing the closest that you've gotten to backpacking.
Yeah.
Because that would also be similar. Because I had to travel for work really frequently. In my last 2 jobs, fairly semi-frequently. But it was always for like week, 2 weeks, a month. Sometimes I'd be away.
Not for 3 months.
And dude, the amount of freaking, I stayed in, hellish place that is Florida for a month one time in a hotel next to the airport. It was just like, yikes.
Yikes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the amount of like afterwards, like, I don't know why, but like pizza delivery places and stuff like that would like drop their flyers through my door all the time, like to get pizza delivered to the hotel room.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if they get a certain list where they know people are there long term, but I got like 3 or 4 a night. And by the end of it, like I could have probably used the amount of like paper and like cardboard, card sheet, cardboard paper or whatever.
Yeah. Card stock.
Card stock for keeping me warm at night with a fire because there were so many.
Okay. Huh. I mean, maybe they do. Maybe they have some kind of like deal with the hotel or something. I don't know.
It was insane that I got so many. But yeah, I don't know how or why I said that. What prompted me? What were you saying?
Oh, travel on the road, living in hotels, all that mess.
Oh yeah, living in hotels, gross. Yeah,
do not recommend. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so that's your closest. Yeah, that's my closest because I definitely haven't backpacked. I know people who've backpacked like across countries and like stayed in like hostels and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that would not be for me. I would be more into van life than backpacking life.
Yeah, no,
I'll tell you that right now.
No, thank you.
I mean, you can't really. Can you on? Okay, maybe
I could.
Titans could also answer this. Like, I don't know if he has a. I don't know why. I know who this is. Yeah, I've seen him interchat all the time. Because in the U.S. it's not really a thing, right? Because there's not like good public transportation and stuff like that. What do you think of tiny house downsizing and simple living concepts? Like, I love them. Like, I find them fascinating. And if I could have like 20 of them spread across the nation, great. Because then I'm going to have like, I'm not going to feel like the shipping container is all I have. Because I do. I mean, it's so tough for me to say. And my friends would call me out. I do like minimalistic stuff. If you saw my house, I am not minimalistic. Or my Amazon invoices every year, you would not think that I'm minimalistic. And, but I like it, and I like watching like those shows, and I like thinking of how I would develop like a network. Just like how I would like when I say develop networks and like with the farm and stuff. Like, I'm talking in depth networking, like crazy automation, monitoring, zones, like
there will be zones.
Like, there will be zones. Like,
zones will be provided.
Yeah.
It's I think of the whole like tiny house thing the same way I think about like playing like learning to play the electric guitar really well. I like it on someone else. Like, I like it, like I can watch someone play the electric guitar really well and be like, man, they're really good. But
you're not bringing it back around to.
Huh?
So you're not bringing it back around to try and get me to purchase an electric drum set, are you?
I honestly, I swear it wasn't. But now that you mention it, no. So I like it. It's one of those things that I like on someone else. Like, if someone else wants to learn to play the electric guitar, all right, good, God bless. I will watch and wow, that's awesome. And here's some guitar pedals that you might want to look for, because I have a couple myself. That kind of stuff. Yeah, I like it. Like I say, I like it on someone else. So I'll tell you what, we are at the bottom. Why not get a guitar? I actually have a guitar that was used in I believe, national ad campaign. I'll see if I can find it during the break. And speaking of the break, we're at the break. Oh, I could give the van lot a shot. They rent vans in New Zealand. Oh, wow, that would be kind of cool. You could camp out there for a month and see what you think. Yeah.
Well, see, if I go to New Zealand, I'm planning to stay there because they got their SHIT together.
They do indeed. Yeah.
To a degree.
Are you going to play some Rush music for us on your guitar? Oh, you know me so well. No, I will not be doing that because I don't like Rush. All right. So I'll tell you what, one thing I do like, though, is the post game. Now, let's see. If you are watching us on YouTube, welcome to Saturday. In just a few short seconds, you're going to see me, only with longer sideburns, telling you that you should have watched us on Twitch. Hi, I'm the Mighty Pong, host of the show that you just got done watching. Hey, if you'd like to see the entire show and not just the first hour, make sure that you watch on twitch.tv/SYN Shop every Friday night for the main show, and on Monday nights we have our special project night. So you can join us, build something, and basically throw stuff at us while we try to concentrate on things. It's a lot of fun. Kind of. But hey, anyway, we hope to see you there. It's a lot of fun. So join us over there, twitch.tv/SYN Shop. I am, of course, the Mighty Pong, and we will see you there. One take. Not one take.